Today we are going to have a closer look at the Edifier WH950NB noise cancelling over-ear headphones. Premium quality with useful features at a reasonable price. These would be the three key points that describe the Edifier cans the best, but if you are interested in all the details, then stick around after the intro. Hi everyone, my name is Andy, and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. Before I get onto the design, I have to tell you that I got the headphones from the manufacturer for testing, but no money exchanged hands and no one had any influence on the content of this video whatsoever. So onto the design of the 950s, we get some premium materials and first-class build quality, but in terms of the look, there is nothing groundbreaking here. Certain details, such as the ratcheted aluminum headband or the oval mic port with the golden accent on the ear cups, give you the feeling that you have seen these headphones somewhere else before. But the contrast between the glossy finish of the yokes and the textured coating on the ear cups, along with the large Edifier logo on the headband, lend a unique and recognizable look to the cans. And again, everything feels well put together and the whole package oozes quality. The aluminum headband is well built, it's sturdy, there are no squeaking noises whatsoever no matter how much you bend it. The headband also gives you just a proper amount of clamping force, which contributes to the long-term comfort of the headphones. The 950s weigh in just under 300 grams, and thanks to the generous padding at the bottom of the headband, it's well distributed across my head. Onto the ear cups, they offer plenty room for my ears, both in terms of width and depth. The combination of the faux leather and the memory foam gives you first-class comfort and also a decent level of passive isolation. My only gripe with the ear cups is that with the great isolation comes poor ventilation, which makes my ears a bit too hot too soon. And it's not even summer yet, not that we will ever get a proper summer weather here in Ireland, but that's beside the point. So comfort altogether is good, but an improved airflow in the cups could only make it better. But here I have to emphasize that this is my experience only and your mileage might vary. The ear cups fold flat and they swivel too, which makes them more compact when it comes to traveling, and we get a nice looking hard case where we can safely store away the 950s along with the audio jack cable, the airplane adapter and the USB-C charging cable, which takes us to battery life. According to the official specs, the WH950NB can last up to 55 hours on a single charge, but that's with the ANC turned off. With the ANC turned on, it drops to 34 hours, and I assume that these stats were all conducted using the AAC codec. However, with the more power-demanding LDAC codec in use, the battery life will probably drop significantly, so you have to keep that in mind. But in any case, a 10-minute quick charge can give you an extra use time of up to 7 hours, which is almost a full day of use in its own. And if it ever comes to that, it takes 1.5 hours to fully charge the batteries. And since I mentioned LDAC, let's talk about connection next. The Edifier headphones come with a Bluetooth 5.3 compliant wireless chip on board, which besides the usual AAC and SBC codecs, boasts LDAC compatibility, and it also offers you multi-point use. The only problem is that you cannot use the LDAC codec when the dual device connection is enabled in the Edifier app. Or the other way around, multi-point gets disabled if you turn on the LDAC codec. I thought we were past these so-called bandwidth limitations, but it looks like Edifier have not found a way to make these two features cooperate smoothly yet. And on top of that, you will have to disable multipoint first, which will reconnect the headphones to your smartphone, and only then you can enable LDAC in the app, which will reconnect your headphones again. So it's a bit of a slow and painful process which you have to go through every time when switching between the two features. Other than this minor inconvenience, multipoint works well. Switching between two devices can either be automatic or manual depending on your use case. The connection in general has always been solid during my tests. I found pairing the 950s with Android and iOS devices easy and mostly hassle-free. Only switching between LDAC and multipoint can cause disturbances in the force sometimes. LDAC is of course only available on Android, as Apple does only support their own AAC codec, but as long as you are on Android, you will get Google Fast Pair as well. Watching videos is free of any lip sync issues and you will get a latency of under 100 milliseconds, which is low enough for even some more serious gaming. That, however, only happens in game mode, which you can enable in the app. And in case you were wondering what phone call quality you might get from these headphones, here is a quick audio sample for you. So this is the voice transmission quality you can expect from the built-in microphones on the Edifier WH950NB in a quiet environment. And here's another audio sample for you. This time I'm outside, and as you can hear and see, there is some traffic noise in the background and there is also a slight breeze. So this is the phone call quality you can expect from the Edifier WH950NB in these conditions. Onto the controls, you can forget about fancy touch controls, haptic feedback or hand gestures. What we get is good old physical buttons which work reliably all the time across all scenarios. The plastic buttons, which are all located on the back side of the right ear cup, have a nice, soft, clicky feel and a tactile feedback. We get to control play, pause, volume and tracks with the volume rocker on top, while we can activate our voice assistant or toggle through the different ambient modes using the multifunctional button down below. This multifunctional button also offers some custom settings in the app. You can enable or disable certain ambient or sound modes, so you don't have to cycle through all the options every time, and you can also disable your voice assistant. The controls are easy to locate, quick to react and altogether a joy to use. One thing I miss is smart sensors, which would pause media playback automatically when taking off the headphones, but you can find no such sensors on the WH950NB. But there is the Edifier app, which is fairly packed with features. On the main menu there are 3 pages you can swipe across. First, there are the 5 different ANC and ambient modes. Then you get some EQ settings, including a 4-band manual equalizer with custom gain and Q factor settings. On the last page you can find a music, a game and a theater mode button to optimize the settings of the cans to each of these use case scenarios. Game mode gives you the lowest latency, while theater mode delivers a virtual surround sound, which in my opinion sounds horrible, but your taste and experience might vary. In the settings menu you can find the custom controls, the LDAC and the multipoint switch, along with the shutdown timer and the user manual. And as a unique feature you can enable the safe volume setting, which limits the maximum volume to 85 decibels. So the app is great with a comprehensive set of features and settings. Everything works well, the layout is clean and it is easy to navigate across all the different options. And talking about options, we got no less than 5 different modes for the active noise cancellation in the app. High noise cancellation, low noise cancellation, wind noise reduction, ambient sound and ANC off. The ambient mode sounds more or less natural with a minimal hiss and with a focus on letting through higher pitch noises. There is a slider that scales from -3 to +3 where you can set up the optimal level of ambient noise. That's quite clever and it works really well. High noise cancellation blocks out most lower frequency hums such as AC units or airplane cabin noise, but it struggles a bit with higher frequencies. Edifier is definitely a step behind the best offerings on the market in that regard, but also the price is way below the $200 mark, so you still get an excellent performance for almost half the price of the big boys. Low noise cancellation lets through some more low pitch rumbles, and wind noise reduction, well, it reduces wind noise. And it does a remarkable job at that. Wind noise is handled reasonably well across all ANC modes, but if you really want to tame that whistling noise the mics might pick up outside, then enabling the wind noise reduction mode will do that for you, even if it does that at the cost of higher noise levels in general. And while the 950s can hardly compete with the leading premium ANC headphones in terms of their noise cancelling performance, they can easily destroy the similarly priced and similarly spec'd Sennheiser HD450, for example. The Sennys are the only headphones I have at hand right now with which a comparison makes any sense, and the 950s outperform the 450s not only in sheer noise cancelling capabilities, but they also offer more options and flexibility in the settings. Onto the sound quality, we get 40mm dynamic drivers which make the headphones sound powerful, detailed and relatively open. Bass is intense and powerful with a good extension, but it's not overdone, so it won't weigh down or overpower the sound, but it gives you plenty energy in the bottom octaves. The mids are well presented with a natural timbre of vocals and acoustic instruments across the board. The highs deliver all the sparkle, all the nuances, and all the details without ever getting too bright or overly harsh. The headphones strike a nice balance between bass, mids and highs. We get a decently built sound stage with a good sense of dimensions, and while separation and imaging are both decent, I hear nothing outstanding there. But overall, the musical experience is well above average, and I enjoyed every minute of going through my favorite test songs with the Edifiers. That's all with the ANC turned off. When it's turned on, we get more bass and the soundscape shrinks ever so slightly. It's not a huge difference at all, but I prefer the more open and balanced character when the ANC is off nonetheless. Using the sophisticated manual equalizer, you can always dial in the sound to match it to your personal taste, so there is that too. However, when using the audio cable in passive mode, the sound gets rather dark and closed in with less of those fine musical details, which is a bit disappointing if I'm honest. But if you use the headphones in wireless mode, which I reckon most of you will do, the sound is easily comparable to any of the other premium offerings on the market, be it Sony, Sennheiser or Bose. And it's not just the musical capabilities which are comparable to that of headphones costing much more. But so is the general build quality, the battery life, the smartphone app and most features we get. Comfort is also great except for that little overheating issue I experienced, and while the actual ANC performance might be at a lower tier, the flexibility and all the different options that the ambient mode settings can offer make these headphones great for everyday use across all sorts of scenarios. And thanks to their price, which is around $170 or euros as of making this video, the whole package represents an excellent value, so I have no choice but to recommend adding the Edifier WH950NB to your list when shopping around for noise cancelling over-ear headphones. And this is it for today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment down below should you have anything to add or ask. Thanks for watching, hope to see you all in the next one.